This vision of Mary exists throughout Orthodox liturgical texts. The famous introduction to the Akathist, "To you, O champion," or better translated, "To you, defender general," uses the word strategos, the same Septuagint word used to refer to Judith, who by combining deadly seduction and skilled battle tactics saves the Hebrews from destruction by Holofernes and the Persian army. The hymns of the Dormition depict Mary not as passive or receptive, but as a woman of liberation who stands next to Judith, the dancing Miriam who led the Israelites in worship after their exodus from Egypt, the beautiful Esther who prevents genocide, and Hannah, who is among the poor and barren lifted up by God. As I already noted, this version of Mary may only be slightly more palatable to feminists given its emphasis on violence and conflict. Further, its use in worship illustrates the dangerous marriage in Orthodox practice between political success and ecclesial power. In no way do I want to affirm these elements. My point is that this vision meets the needs of an embattled society by unabashedly framing the virtuous qualities of the Virgin as the actions of a triumphant and somewhat brutal conqueror. The essential point is that the Church has interpreted the virginal motherhood of the Theotokos in a variety of ways, which are often related to particular needs. Selfless love is not applied merely to child rearing. This underscores that readings of the Theotokos which imply that her faithful response to the call of God, heard in the Annunciation, means only one thing for women, are too simple. The Orthodox tradition encompasses diverse images and narratives of our full humanity. Mary's virginal motherhood cannot be reduced to Victorian piety or imperial power. Her full humanity encompasses both, though it may reject certain elements of each. And I want to emphasize this. It encompasses both, even when both make us very uncomfortable. The plethora of images, both verbal and iconic, in Orthodoxy testify to the diversity of virtues, of virtuous practices, and embodiments of holiness seen in transfigured persons. No single saint exemplifies full humanity any more than does a single virtue or practice. Further, a particular virtue, such as selfless love, is not restricted to a particular function, role, or social location. Saints point us to the enactment of virtue within our particularity as the core of the Christian life. Embodied virtue does not allow a clean division between a mode of female enactment and a mode of male enactment. Icons do not portray virtue as gendered or sexed. They do portray sexed and gendered persons as virtuous. The body matters, not because the body dictates what virtues will or will not be expressed, but because it is only through the body that any and all virtues are expressed. As Jose said, this is a matter of love. The recognition of the uniqueness of the human person in his or her body, the uniqueness of her gifts and her virtues, is a way and a manner of loving, of recognizing and seeing him or her for who he or she truly is. What then is wrong with a male priesthood? I did start with priesthood. On the one hand, nothing. A male priest can exemplify the virtuous humanity that we are all, including the priest, becoming. In their bodies of flesh, rather than wood and paint, they make our new humanity in Christ visible through the practice of virtue. This is the emphasis on the priesthood found in patristic texts, not masculinity, but virtue. A male priesthood is wrong, however, when it is exclusively male. Our gaze is arrested at flesh and blood in a manner no less idolatrous than allowing our gaze to be filled by wood and paint. The icon, which is meant to open our gaze to the divine, ceases to do so because our gaze is filled with the visible. As Jean-Luc Marion notes, idols mirror precisely the degree of the divine that one is able to see. If we see only male fatherhood in a priest who is an icon of our humanity in Christ, we see only males as icons of Christ, our full humanity. The long and hard-fought tradition of wood and paint icons is a battle for the radicality of an incarnation in which all matter is transformed through participation in the work of the Spirit. We need to see female icons transfigured in wood and paint as well as flesh and blood. Women who can set forth the image before us, being God and making others God. We need to see this in the liturgy, since it is in the Eucharist, the holy thing for the holy people, embodied on the table as well as in each and every person, thine own of thine own, that we attain our unique, irreducible, and free human personhood. Thank you.